Imagine asking a machine, just using plain English to build a whole website, and it just hands it over. Flawless. Seconds later.
Right.
No debugging, nothing. Or maybe think about an AI assistant with a company credit cards, just booking your flights, managing expenses, all on its own.
Welcome to the deep dive. Yeah, that shift you're talking about. From AI as just a tool we kind of poke at to AI as this agent, something that acts for us. That's really the core of what we're seeing today.
It feels like it's accelerating every week.
It really is. The number of new tools, it's a lot. So our mission here is simple. Cut through all that noise, and track where AI is getting genuinely autonomous.
Okay.
So we've got a plan for you today focused right on that self-sufficiency idea. First, we'll hit the coding battleground. Speed, precision, critical stuff there. Second, the creative side. Visuals, audio, how AI is becoming more like a collaborator.
Interesting.
And finally, the really deep integration stuff. AI moving into, well, global governance and commerce.
Sure.
Big picture.
Okay, let's unpack that, starting with coding. GPT-5 Codex. They're calling it the coder's new best friend. Why is this command line thing such a big deal compared to, say, a web chat, especially for pros?
Yeah, good question. It really boils down to professional velocity, speed. Codex is a command line tool, a CLI. Now, that might just sound like typing words into a, black window.
Right.
But for developers, people in the trenches, that's super useful. It means faster iteration, much easier integration into their existing setups like build scripts, automated workflows.
Oh, okay.
Just tell it what you want. Like Codex create website, whether Ho Chi Minh City, and boom, it spits out the code instantly.
So it's about speed and fitting right into how they already work.
Exactly. And the real kicker, the differentiator, it's precision. We saw this play out in a head-to-head test, building a simple to-do list website. Input box, add button, cross out tasks, basic stuff.
Okay. And how did it stack up against Claude Code, Anthropic's tool?
Well, Codex just did it. Delivered exactly what was asked. No extra fluff, no back and forth. When we asked it to add a clear all button, it just slotted it in neatly, and the thing worked perfectly. First try.
Wow. Okay. And Claude?
Claude Code. It was a bit different. It showed this, what you might call feature creep. It started asking questions like, do you want to save the list? Which wasn't asked for. And then it decided on its own to add columns like priority and due date. Made the whole thing more complicated than the simple request. And worse, the main thing, the crossout function. Sometimes it was buggy.
Huh. That's interesting. So Claude was maybe trying to be smarter, anticipate needs, but Codex won by just sticking to the script, literally.
Yeah.
So is that ability to just follow orders precisely, not try to guess, is that the most critical thing for these tools right now?
Precision and avoiding that feature creep.
Yeah.
Absolutely key for keeping projects simple and reliable. Okay, so if Codex is like the efficient code writer, then Replit Agent 3, well, that's more like the full application engineer. This one takes us a big step further. It lets you build an entire working app just by describing the idea.
That feels like a huge jump from just getting code snippets. What's the right analogy here? Is it like...
It's really, honestly, like having an expert software engineer sitting right there with you. You describe the whole app idea. Let's say a simple recipe blog. You want photo galleries, separate ingredient pages, maybe a search bar.
Right.
And the agent just handles it. All the coding, compiling, even hosting, it all happens in the background.
Okay, now here's the part that really caught my eye, where it feels less like a tool and more like an agent. Agent 3 can apparently think about its own work. If the code gets too messy, it simplifies itself.
Yeah, that self-correction thing it's pushing boundaries. It means the tool is managing its own complexity, its own technical debt, you could say.
Yeah. I mean, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes, where the AI kind of forgets the original goal over time. So that self-correction, wow, that sounds amazing, especially for bigger projects.
It's revolutionary, definitely. But there are trade-offs, right? It's slower than the command line tools, can take 10 minutes, maybe more, for complex apps.
Okay.
And crucially, because it is auto-simplifying things behind the scenes, you give up some control. You don't see every little coding step. It's really built for automation, less for detailed human tweaking.
But wait, if the AI is simplifying the code, how does a human engineer debug it later? If they don't know what choices the AI made, what corners it might have cut, doesn't that add friction back in?
That's the balance, isn't it? It's about choosing the right tool for the job. Codex for control, Agent 3 for speed, and that hands-off automation.
Okay, let's pivot then. Visuals, audio, start with Luma Ray 3. Big focus on cinematic quality, specifically high dynamic range HDR video. Can you break down HDR simply for us?
Yeah, sure thing. So HDR basically fixes the biggest problem with standard video, SDR. You know how in normal videos, dark spots become just black blobs and bright spots get totally blown out just white?
Yeah, definitely.
HDR fixes that. It captures way more detail in both the really dark shadows and the super bright highlights all at the same time. Makes the image feel incredibly real, deep, kind of like how our eyes actually see light.
So if you're filming something high contrast, like, I don't know, an astronaut on a shiny planet with two suns blazing,
Right.
HDR means you see the detail in the astronaut's shadows and maybe the faint nebula in the background sky.
That's the idea, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the high concept use. But the practical feature, maybe even more impressive. Ray 3 lets you upload a normal video from your phone, standard SDR, and it can upgrade it to HDR quality, just with a prompt.
Whoa!
Yeah, whoa. I mean, just imagine the potential there for independent filmmakers, right?
Yeah.
Getting that really complex cinematic lighting look from just a prompt, no fancy gear needed. It's wild.
That upgrade capability is huge. Okay, shifting to design tools. Reve AI, they're doing something new, mimicking pro software with layered editing.
Yes. And this is a massive efficiency boost for designers.
All right.
Instead of trying to tweak images with text prompts, which can be super frustrating, like, move the text a tiny bit left, no more.
Yeah.
Been there.
Reve AI automatically breaks the image down into separate layers, just like you get in Photoshop or other pro tools.
So if I generate, say, a poster for orange juice, the AI sees the glass, the straw, the juice itself, the text that says sunshine in a glass, and it puts them on different layers.
Exactly. It turns generative AI into non-destructive editing. You can literally click the text layer, resize it, change the font, click the orange layer, make it bigger, all without messing up anything else around it.
Okay, that sounds way more intuitive.
It's huge for day-to-day marketing, design work, anywhere you need to constantly adjust layouts or text, much faster.
And sticking with images for a sec, Dream 4.0, its strength is apparently perfect text and images. That's been a notorious weak spot for AI, right? Oh, absolutely. No more weird, melty letters or bizarre spellings baked right into the picture. And beyond text, it's also really good at sticking to specific details. You ask for a 16:9 aspect ratio, you get 16:9. You specify exact clothing colors, it delivers. It cuts down on all that tedious fixing of small errors.
Okay, so we have this visual fidelity jump with HDR and this structural control with layers. Which one do you think hits creative workflows first, makes the biggest immediate impact?
Layered editing. That'll immediately boost efficiency for daily marketing and design tasks. No question. Mid-roll sponsor read.
All right, we're back. Let's talk about the workplace. Gamma 3.0, the presentation tool, it's moving beyond just making slides, integrating more deeply.
Yeah, big time. First off, the interface is way easier. It's chat-based now. You just tell it, make the text bigger, and boom, it does it instantly.
Nice.
But the real breakthrough, and this ties back to that agency theme, is the new API feature for businesses.
Okay, tell us about that. What does it do?
So the API lets other company systems automatically trigger Gamma to create a custom sales presentation. Imagine this. A salesperson finishes a call. The system automatically generates a tailored deck for that specific client based on the call.
Wow, okay.
The AI could, in theory, listen to the call, grab the key points, the client's priorities, and then build the presentation, all without the salesperson having to manually prep it. That drastically cuts down sales cycle time. Huge competitive edge.
That's a massive time saver. Okay, and also on the creation front, ElevenLabs. They started as just a voice generator, but now with Studio 3.0, they're aiming to be a full audio studio.
Yeah, it's a complete audio hub now. They've added complex stuff like voice remixing, an AI script generator, and a proper professional timeline editor, all in one place.
So you could basically create a whole short audio story.
Exactly. Have different characters, each with a unique AI voice, add sound effects, footsteps, doors closing, layer in background music or ambiance, all in one screen.
The convenience factor seems key there. You're not jumping between tools anymore. Scripting, voicing, mixing, it's all integrated. Like you could build a whole forest, soundscape, wind, birds, a stream right there.
So does putting everything onto one screen like that actually boost creativity more than using separate specialized tools? What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Reducing that friction, it keeps you in the creative flow, stops you from context switching all the time. All right, let's shift to the highest level now, the public sphere. AI moving from assistant to, well, official agent. This news out of Albania is pretty stunning. First country to appoint an AI official for public purchasing.
Yeah, headline grabbing for sure. And they're describing this AI as 100% incorruptible, which makes it this huge experiment in governance. But we got to clarify, right, for you listening. Is this AI just like auditing purchase records? Or is it actually choosing vendors, approving huge payments on its own?
The reporting implies it's managing public purchasing, which suggests, yeah, a high level of decision making. And if that's right, it throws up some critical questions immediately. Like if the AI messes up, makes a bad call that costs millions, who's responsible?
Exactly.
Is it the government minister overseeing it? The people who coded the algorithm? Where does the buck stop?
That accountability piece is just central. And also, just because it's incorruptible, that doesn't automatically mean it's fair.
Yeah.
Right? Is it just introducing a new kind of bias, maybe one that's harder to see, into how public money gets spent?
Meanwhile, to even enable this kind of autonomous action in commerce, Google's leading a big project. They're working with Mastercard, Visa, Amex, the giants, to create a common standard so AI agents can securely use credit cards.
And this is foundational, really critical.
Yeah.
You need this standard if you want your AI assistant to, say, book your flight someday or order your groceries or pay bills without you having to click approve on every single tiny transaction.
Right.
A shared, secure standard. That's basically the green light for this whole future of AI agents doing stuff in the real world commercially.
And one last quick note, this one on privacy. OpenAI mentioned plans to use AI to guess a user's age based on how they chat, the topics they discuss. The stated reason is parental controls for under 18s. But the immediate worry is, well, what private data is it looking at to make that guess?
It's that constant push-pull, isn't it? Safety versus surveillance. Often these safety features need more data, which bumps up against privacy concerns. So back to the AI minister idea. If you have an incorruptible AI making purchasing decisions, does its moral authority rely entirely on it being totally secure and totally accountable?
Accountability is crucial, absolutely. But these standards seem necessary if we're moving towards more autonomous AI. Okay, so let's wrap up this deep dive. The big trend we've seen today, across coding, creative work, even governance, is clear. AI is shifting from being just a helpful tool that reacts to becoming a powerful agent that acts, more autonomous.
Yeah, the tools are getting simpler to use, definitely more powerful, and they're weaving themselves right into these really specialized, high-stakes workflows. And I'd really encourage you, if you're curious, try this out yourself. Use Codex. Maybe build a simple portfolio site. Or play with Reve AI's layers. Design a quick graphic. Feel that control. The power is getting really accessible. The agent is kind of waiting.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with, connecting a couple of these threads. What actually happens when an incorruptible AI minister, like Albania's model, gets the power to spend money autonomously using that new, secure Google Visa payment standard? What are the real limits, practical, ethical, of a fully automated state purchasing system?
It creates this closed loop of digital authority. It's something we're really just starting to wrap our heads around. Lots to think about. We hope you'll keep exploring these ideas and join us for the next deep dive.